Welcome to Marine Engineering Mechanical. Today we are focusing on marine engineering knowledge, lesson 1, under the topic of fuels and lubricants, based on the book called Volume 1 General for Marine Engineering Theory by Dr. G. Lambert, who is the chief engineer. So before we break down and simplify everything, we would like to humbly request that you subscribe, click the notification bell and like the video in order to boost your marine engineering knowledge and understanding. Fuels and lubricants. Production of fuel oil. Before we talk about the production of fuel oil, let's note that the source of the fuel is the crude oil, which is a mineral mined. So under the classification of crude petroleum, we have 3 classifications based on their paraffin wax makeup. We have one which is containing less than 2% paraffin wax, also known as bitumen. It's called asphalt base. We also have the one which has greater than 5% paraffin wax, called paraffin base, since it's rich in paraffin wax. As you might note that I talked about less than 2% and greater than 5%. So we have a petroleum which is in between 2% and 5%. That one is called mixed base, which is also called which also is more mixed with asphalt. So we are having, in order to break down and simplify this crude oil for different purposes and uses, we have what we call refining process. This is done in refinery plants, and the refinery itself must be flexible to meet the demand of different fuels to be produced and different oils from different oil crude sources or oil sources. Remember, the crude oil from one part cannot be the same with the other one which is mined in another part, as the environment might be different, meaning that it will have different makeups and contaminants. So the refinery process which is required is determined by the kind or the type of the crude oil, if not the source of the crude oil that we are working with. Petroleum composed or makeup of marine fuel. It consists of oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, salt, water contamination, and a chain of hydrocarbons. The listed elements have got their own side effects, which are going to be outlined in more details in the following video. Distillation process. Distillation process is one of the main process to focus on, as it is used in the refinery process. So basically, distillation is the heating of the liquid, in our case crude oil, in order to let the lighter fragments separate from heavier fragments by means of evaporation. What I'm saying is, like, you're gonna put the oil in a chamber where it's gonna be burned, and vapor will be collected and put in another chamber where it will cool down and change the form from gas back to liquid. And noting that the liquid will be more flammable, as it is much lighter compared to what will be remaining in the chamber where the crude oil is, which will be called crude residuals. Part of refining processes. What do we do when we refine the oil? There's what we call water washing, where we separate physical impurities. For instance, let's say we are having physical salt. To reduce the salt content, we just circulate water through that crude oil to wash away the salt content. in order to by the means of purifying or refining to the product to come out with the final product, which may be either diesel, petrol, or any sort of a fuel which you are trying to achieve or obtain. The crude oil is also heated and allowed to undergo condensation in a different chamber, which is the distillation process. As the crude oil is heated, remember it's losing those lighter fragments, meaning that the leftover will be more thick, more dense. So the density is much higher of the part of the oil which is left over, the crude residual, compared to what has already been extracted. In order for us to make a good use of crude oil, we need to break it into lighter and heavy fragments. One of the two main separation processes used is called catalytic cracking, where a silica alumina based catalyst is circulated through the crude oil under moderate temperature and pressure. The circulation process itself results in the breaking down and separation of lighter fragments from the heavier fragments of that very same crude oil. The lighter fragments are then collected and stored in a different place or used for different purposes, whereas the leftovers, called crude residuals, are blended and used on board as marine bunkers. So you need to know that we have added silica and alumina catalyst. That catalyst will result in the addition of the concentration of silica and alumina itself. The last thing you want inside the engine or in the combusting chambers is silica and alumina, as it has its own side effects on the combusting species. Hence, this separation process has got its own kind of side effects. The second main crude oil separation process is called thermal cracking, also known as fizz breaking, where heat and pressure is the main factor used for separating the lighter fragments from the heavy fragments. This is associated with distillation process. The good part about this separation process is that it leaves behind less silica and alumina, as they are not added in the process. As I've outlined that this presentation is based on the book written by Dr. G. Lambert, you can also get yourself a copy by contacting the number or the email address listed. Then you can get yourself the copy posted or sent directly to you. This is the end of our subtopic. See you in the next subtopic. Remember to subscribe, click the notification bell, like and comment on the video. Take care.